Well, here we are back again, just past 10 o'clock on Sunday morning, the 11th of September. And it's not lost upon me what that means to those of you in the USA and lots of other people. I remember that morning very well. And like I think most, if not all, civilized people on this planet, I was absolutely horrified at the whole thing. I still am. Today is 21 years later, the 11th of September 2022. That is the Victoria Monument. It's about 10 past 10 Sunday morning. I was here just over 7 hours ago. And back then I could just walk. I mean, there were hardly anyone here, probably more security. Well, so, I don't know, these people in the yellow vests than anyone else, but nevertheless I could just walk straight up as I could on the previous occasions. Today's a little different. There's barriers down there, and so myself and everyone else has to go all the way along there, all the way along there. You can see people there, and then behind that, and then you just kind of walk until you get to the end of the queue, and then it's reasonably fast moving, I must admit. It probably, all in all, took about 20 minutes, and I think I started, you see those people there? I guess I started about 100 yards behind them, and it was reasonably, you can see it, it's pretty fast moving, and it actually took about 20 minutes. But say today's Sunday, there's a lot of people going to be off work anyway. A lot of people probably in the rest of the country that have come down just for the day to sort of experience this. But I do suspect that as the days go on, people are going to be taking a day off work and coming down, or maybe even longer. Of course, there could be an issue of finding a place to stay. Some people, of course, will have friends and what have you, and they'll be on floors and Lord knows where. I would think that most hotels in this area are already full. Certainly for what's to come in the days ahead. And I suspect a lot of people are going to have to sort of, if they are in a hotel, they're going to be out a little bit, out of central London. But it is what it is, isn't it? Anyway, yeah, so there's that's the Victoria Monument. You see some people doing something up there. There's some scaffolding. I guess there's they're getting ready for something, I'm sure. And of course, all this stuff has been prepared years in advance. And of course, what's never known is obviously when she was going to pass, but where she was going to pass. And then, of course, the COVID thing came along, and if she'd passed, whilst any of the lockdowns were on, then, that would have, I guess there was a plan for all of that as well. But if that didn't happen, I suppose had she passed here as Windsor, London, then obviously there were certain plans for that, and as it was, she passed in Scotland. In fact, today, Sunday, her coffin leaves Balmoral and takes 6 hours to drive to Edinburgh, and there'll be, I would think, can't be 6 hours. What am I talking about? That's not possible, is it? Well, unless they go really slow, I suppose. But along that route, of course, there'll be a lot of people lining that route, I'm sure. It can't be 6 hours. I mean, only like 12 hours to drive to Edinburgh from London. So, unless they are going really slow, which is possible. Anyway, so the Standard is still flying. I've got to tell you something about the Standard. The Standard, people are confused about this. So I just overheard some people saying something, and I, had to sort of tell them the correct information. When you see the Standard, okay, I know I've said this previously, when you see the Standard flying, it could be on an aeroplane, in a car, Windsor Castle, on a yacht, wherever, right? Whenever you see the Standard flying, or attempting to fly because there's hardly any wind, that means that that's where the monarch is, when the king, queen, whoever the monarch is, right? That's where the monarch is. And that is unequivocally the way it is. Now, what happened before 1997, you only ever saw the standard flying anywhere, right? You didn't see the Union flag as you see now. And let me explain what happened. 1997 is when Princess Diana died. Now, there's all that national mourning and everything else, and it wasn't appropriate, or it wasn't deemed appropriate that the standard be flown at half-mast. I mean, that's kind of not the thing to do, right? Fly the standard at half-mast. So they didn't. They flew the Union flag at half-mast, and that's the way it's been ever since. So when you see the Union flag or Union Jack flying, it means that the monarch is not there. I mean, that's 100% the way it is. Trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me. Now, of course, the Union flag can be at half-mast, as it was from Thursday, from 6:30 Thursday when the announcement was made. But the standard can never be flown at half-mast. And the reason for that is this, is that the second, I mean the millisecond, the instant that the monarch passes, the new monarch takes over. So there is never any period of time when there is no living monarch. Therefore, there is no need to fly the standard at half-mast. So you'll never, well, you never see, maybe if, the aliens, space aliens invade or something, you know what I mean. So anyway, so hopefully that clears that up actually. I say the other way you can tell, maybe not, I'll try and, I'll get onto that in a few seconds actually. Also, the other thing that happened here, of course, a couple of days ago, one could sort of walk along all of this, right? Where are they from? Anyway, whereas now, because these roads are closed here, I think I drove down here Thursday night. Wow, it'll be maybe a few weeks before I can drive down here again. Anyway, and of course I was over there yesterday when I was talking and that band started playing up, and I said that I wondered where they were going because they came along here and out along the Mall. And of course I'm not sure if I mentioned it at the time, but of course, I was thinking to myself, the only place they can really go when they kind of head off down the Mall is St. James's Palace, which is there, straight there. And of course that was correct. And what they were doing is that they paraded in Friary Court, which is where I've parked there actually, and I was with a former Canadian Prime Minister, and that's when the announcement was made that the new king had been proclaimed. There had been some sort of ceremony within the offices. A bunch of people signed the documents and all that stuff, and then the announcement was made to the public, and that began at 11 a.m. from over there, Friary Court. And if you go on YouTube, you can see all that. It's about a 10-minute or something ceremony. Now, of course, if I'd known that, I was standing just over there, and if I'd known that, I would have just gone up there or attempted to, because that's kind of an historical thing. I mean, that doesn't happen that often. When the public it's announced to the public that a new monarch has been proclaimed, and that's what happened from there, 11 o'clock yesterday. And of course, I went off the other direction to view 2 flats with an estate agent. Priorities. But there you go. I mean, I didn't know. Had I known, that's say the same thing with the lottery. But anyway, so so that's where those guards folk were heading yesterday when I talked about that. Now, YouTube gave me a copyright claim on that. I haven't investigated it yet, but I'm almost certain it's because of the music that those guardsmen were playing, all that sort of regal music, and I'm assuming because of that, that's why there's a copyright claim. I mean, it's done automatically, isn't it, from YouTube, because someone's got the copyright to that music, I suppose. I mean, so I may have to sort of mute that out or delete that part of the video. I'm not sure yet. I mean, I worked 15 hours yesterday, so you know, a little bit short of time right now actually, and trying to do real estate viewings and trying to eat and trying to shower and trying to sleep and all that, and you know, so you know, I get to bed till 3 o'clock this morning, just over 7 hours ago. But then of course all these people weren't here, and this isn't packed actually. This actually is not packed. I'm still able to walk around reasonably freely. Saying that, I did mention it in previously. Flowers, if you, oops, careful here. Lots of people taking photos. Pearly King and Pearly Queen. Cockney rhyming slang. Google it, everybody. Cockney rhyming slang. Anyway, now interestingly, the announcement that was attached to the railing of Thursday,
Such a nice weekend.
that's not there anymore. That's come down. That was just over there. So that's gone. And let me see, I do want to show you this. Again, so that you don't get confused. Because a lot of people seem to not know this stuff. Okay. Okay, you see there are two guards people there, right? One on the left, one on the left. Right, one on the left, one on the right. That's two. There's two on the other side. Right? So those two on the right side, those two on the left side make a total of 4. Whenever you see 4, it means that the monarch is in residence. And that's also confirmed by the flag, which is attempting to flag them. If you only see one of these fellows either side, like one on this side and one on that side, so a total of 2, it means that the monarch is not in residence. And that, because they've got a little office over there on the left.
do they? Oh.
Yeah, no, I've driven through there a bunch of times. Sometimes, normally drive in that side. Sometimes there's a gate there. I've gone in through that gate, and you know, all that stuff. It leads to the quadrangle, and can't really see it from here. But if you go into Google Maps or that kind of thing, you know, it's just like a big square where it's called a quadrangle, 4 angles, and the place where you kind of stop and you know the people get out and somebody's there to go. That's on the other side of the quadrangle. Yeah. Oh yeah, here's what I couldn't see. Floor tribute. Remember, I couldn't sit at 3 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't make it out. Let's head over there. You are kindly requested not to leave tributes, candles, or artifacts at this location. Please follow signs to the floor tribute in the green part where you may leave your tribute. Any tributes left here will be regularly removed. Okay, it's actually called the Green Park. It's not the Green Park, it's the Green Park. It's one of, I think, 8 royal parks in London. Anyway, and I just heard somebody say that the only exit is this way, which of course makes sense, but it's a bit of a nuisance for me, considering I live just over there. Yeah. Anyway, what else to report? Gang. Yeah, see, that's the notice, I think, was there. Yeah, that's done. Anyway, I would think, I mean, today's Sunday, you know, the funeral's still 8 days away. I would think this is going to get more and more packed as the days go by, for sure. And I'm going to try and come by here every night after work, which, say, this morning was just before 3 a.m. And I'm going to also try and come by in the mornings, and I really do want to get in the habit of coming by earlier rather than later, for obvious reasons. Anyway, so there's the Mall over there, a bunch of the TV tents, media tents, should I say. May not always be TV, I suppose. And yeah. So here we go. So yeah, if any of you are going to bring flowers, I would definitely bring them with you from wherever you've come from, because I think to try and get flowers in this area might be a bit problematical. As I mentioned, I live about a minute walk from a large-ish Sainsbury's, which for a supermarket of that size, I think it's the closest one to Buckingham Palace. That's over that way, about a 10-minute walk, if you don't get lost. But anyway, and certainly the last couple of times I've been in there have been no flowers. But there's other stores. There's like a little Waitrose around the corner from it, and then there's a little Tesco opposite that. In that direction, there's a Waitrose. It's it's not the smallest Waitrose. It's certainly not the biggest. That's up there. That's in Belgravia. I suspect all their flowers will have gone as well. When you come up, when you go down to the Mall, there's going to be these little tiny Tesco's or Co-op or Sainsbury's, that kind of thing. And whether or not they sell flowers or not is debatable anyway. But even if they do, I suspect that they're going to be out of stock a lot. So I wouldn't bank on getting flowers locally. Bring them with you, folks. And then I guess there seems to be a place in the Green Park where that sort of thing is left. So they're clearly wanting to keep flowers out of this area. Not just flowers, I mean other stuff as well. And okay. Wow, so let's go there.
Having your children and your grandchildren.
Wow, I've stopped here a few times. I've come in through there, stopped there, and there's that security post there, and then sometimes I've gone over there to the right, and sometimes I've gone through over there into the quadrangle. It's weird. I look at this sign. Okay, forward. Now, was that sign made up since the announcement on Thursday evening? You can see it's actually two, right? The bottom one's got the right arrow, and did they have those others printed up with the left arrow? And were these signs all printed up months and months and months and months and months ago? Already, or has it all just been done since the announcement? I suspect it's the latter. I've stopped up there. There's something called, I think it's the purser's office. Okay, so you see some. I don't know if this is an official place to leave tribute, or people have just been doing it.
It's okay.
All right. Such a nuisance actually, because meeting at home, it looks like I have to go the long way around.
Why do you think it used
Right. Oh dear. I'm already hating this number of people. I mean, it's going to get worse, isn't it? Oh boy. Okay, yours truly is not happy. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna. How far I'm gonna have to walk. Okay, this is Constitution Hill. Not much of a hill. Yeah, very slight. If you get to the end, you see there's a slight incline. Named apparently because King Charles II, who used to live in St James Palace, used to walk up here for his daily constitution. His fresh air and a little bit of exercise, and that was his daily constitution. So this became Constitution Hill. And to the left, those are all the grounds of Buckingham Palace. On the right, the Green Park, which really is not somewhere where I want to go right now. But that's the way that, oh Lord. You know, it's just as well I'm not in a major hurry. I have to be at work at 1 in Soho, which is about 2.5 hours from now. So, I mean, that's kind of okay. Yeah, now see, if I had complete freedom of movement, I'd go to the top and then I'd make a left down Grosvenor Place and head home that way. Not sure if I'm going to have that choice or not. Oh, God. Okay. Alright, do I stop this video? I'm just trying to give you all like an idea of how this is, and you know, whether you're going to head on down here anyway or if you're just curious. Wow. This is okay. You know, if I was in a hurry right now, this would be bad news. Okay, so you know, I suspect most of you aren't in the situation I'm in, and you're not really fussed one way or the other, which is fine. But this, as of today, Sunday, the 11th of September, is how it stands. I guess things may change. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more people. I mean, look at it, it's reasonably fast flowing right now. Okay, so I'm trying to find a place where people leave tributes. Well, looks as though now I have some sort of choice going left, right, or well, because I'm going home. I go right. I'm just concerned that I'm just going to get stuck amongst a whole bunch of people. Oh, hang on. A bunch of people ahead of me here. I'm trying to find the tribute laying area. Okay, so now we are in the Green Park. That's what happens when you leave. It ends up in the back of a pickup truck. Oh, here's the entrance. Well, I guess I might as well, eh?
Can we start moving down, please, and use the
no,
next entrance?
Come and put the plastic in the bin, please.
Plastic in the bin. Something's trimmed off. Trimmed off for you, actually, like the fellas have got
we came about 2 hours ago.
scissors. Oh, here we go. Actually, it should say on my shirt. Okay, that black ribbon has been there since 2016 because Naj and I were in Bangkok. We were certainly in Thailand when the King of Thailand passed. And so, amongst other things, I ended up with this black ribbon on this shirt, and it's been there ever since. Anyway, so I guess this is, I don't know if it's a DIY. Well, let's just wander around. Okay. I say this is still early days. So, as this place fills up with flowers, I guess they have to do something with those flowers. I mean, otherwise people won't be able to walk around and all of that. So if I come by here late tonight, and I'll try and get to this point here and just see how it is. But you get me, okay?
These are all the people that...
Thomas, could you hold my hand in case I got lost? Thomas, I've lost grandma.
So if you do bring flowers, this is where they end up, and it looks as though you can kind of pretty much use common sense and put them, well, somewhere that's already got flowers on it. I'm not sure if you can start your own pile, so to speak. I guess these piles must have been started at some point. Anyway, see, you could extend this line. Oh, Anna Meek from Calgary. Did you leave these? And, the messages on this sort of thing, these sorts of things, are what you would expect, of course. And a few rubbish bags conveniently available. So you can see if all these flowers were sort of next to the railings at Buckingham Palace, well, pavements could be full of flowers, right? I say this is still early days. This is still Sunday. But, Sunday the 11th of September. Okay. Right, and who knows, as maybe time goes by, maybe they have to move these railings back a bit to allow more space. I'm just wondering, do they come by every night and clear all this? I'll try and find out tonight, I'm going to try after work and come by here. Last night or yesterday worked 15 hours, so I am feeling this a little bit, to be honest with you. But that's okay. It's an event that comes by not that often. I mean, for some people it might come by twice in their life. I mean, you think about it, King Charles III, he's 72. So many of you listening to this will be around when it's his time. So this is not necessarily a once-in-a-lifetime event. But bearing in mind that Her Majesty was on the throne for 70 years and was 96 when she passed, and just 25 when she became queen. There's a lot of people who this sort of event will be once in a lifetime. Anyway, okay. so I could go back that way. I'm just nervous that I'm going to get stuck. I'm going home now. I'm just nervous if I go back that way, I'm just going to get stuck in crowds and maybe filtered off in a direction I don't want to be filtered off too. As I mentioned before, Green Park tube station is just over there. So if you are taking the tube here, I do think that I would go for Green Park, because when you exit, there's different exits, but as long as you get the correct exit, and I'm sure it's all signposted they came in, then when you come out the tube station, this is what you encounter, this is what you would see. So it's kind of obvious, you don't have to deal with traffic or anything like that. Whereas if you go to just over there, it's Hyde Park corner. Again, if you come out of it, it's a bit more complicated, that subway system. And I think there's like 8 exits or something. So if you do get the correct exit, then you'd come out up there. So again, you'd avoid the traffic, because the tunnels go under Hyde Park corner itself, so you'd avoid all the traffic. You come out up there, and then that would be quite obvious as well. Not quite as easy as Green Park. And then of course you've got St James's Park over there, you've got Victoria over there, but both of those involve being on roads a bit. I mean, nothing major, just a little bit. If you got the choice between one of the two, I'd go for St James's Park. It's easier, it's a smaller station, not so many exits, just easier to sort of familiarise yourself with what's going on once you get outside. But of course it depends where you come from. Some people, they want to, you want to try and stick to the same tube line. Because of changing, some people don't like changing. It can be a bit confusing sometimes. So if you want to stay on the one tube line, that can be different than if you don't mind changing. So, different people, different circumstances. That road up there is Piccadilly. The road is called Piccadilly. Off to the right, that's where Piccadilly Circus is. And say Hyde Park corner's down there. The other thing, talking about parks, this is called the Green Park. It is a royal park, and as you can see, it's mostly green. The story goes, King Charles II, the fella that had his daily constitution apparently up what is now known as Constitution Hill. The story goes, well, I don't think this is so much a story, it's a fact actually, that I think he something like fathered like 10 children from different women, none of whom he was married to, apparently. And his wife, I think, was Caroline, Queen Caroline. Anyway, the story goes that she saw him picking flowers in this park, and the flowers weren't for her.
Yeah.
So she was like, okay, that's it then. No more flowers in the Green Park. And that's still pretty much the case today, actually. There may be some somewhere, but it's certainly not like the other parks, that's for sure. It's not entirely flat. There's a few rises like this, you can see it here. You see a few squirrels, but nothing like St James's Park. That's where you see the squirrels, the ducks, the geese, the pelicans, all sorts of parakeets. Here in the Green Park, I think you might see some squirrels here and there. And I'm picking up my pace because I'm on intercept course for... I heard them before I saw them actually. Click, clock, click, clock, click, clock. Okay. Right, we're changing the guard, of course, has been cancelled. And has been for a little while. I can't get out here. Anyway, this is a real nuisance. I was going to walk over there and then make a left and then head home. No. Anyway, this is spontaneous. I didn't know these fellas were going to be doing this. And We're probably going to the barracks. Hyde Park Barracks are just over there. Now, how am I going to get? Oh, this is over there. Okay. Right. Oh, that there is the Bomber Command Memorial to, well, Bomber Command. So maybe going to Hyde Park. Forget what I said about going to Hyde Park. Can I? Tube station. Can I go out here?
Doesn't look like it, does it?
No, that's all blocked. Oh. Okay, anyway, so going to Hyde Park Tube Station is probably not a good idea then. At least not today. Because if you do, you have to go all the way around. So forget what I said about Hyde Park Tube Station. But these things change. So what may not be possible now, maybe as time goes. This is a real nuisance. Okay, there's an exit there. See, that's, oh man. You know, it normally takes me about 10, 12 minutes to walk to Buckingham Palace from the flat. Now that's going to be doubled. I tell you, it's just as well in a big hurry here. Could do with some more sleep, I must admit. Okay, all right, so that's it then, right? So as things stand right now, if you that exit there goes to the road called Piccadilly. Don't get confused with Piccadilly Circus Tube Station. That's down there. That's a different thing. The road that leads from Piccadilly Circus Station to Hyde Park Corner, that road is called Piccadilly. Okay, so yeah, just so that you don't get confused with me. All right, well, I'm gonna hang up now. Yeah, you know, they being whoever's organised this, haven't quite got it perfected. I say it's still the Sunday. So, hopefully, you know, I've just walked up there for nothing, right? I mean, then, you know, when you're in charge of this sort of thing, you want to get people in, you want to get them out. And you don't want people kind of being confused and therefore, you know, still being in and taking up more space. So that wasn't clear. But maybe it will be tomorrow. Somebody will watch this video and say, oh yeah, we forgot that. Well, okay, we'll get that sorted. Anyway, so that's it. We come up to the road called Piccadilly. And Bomber Command. That's the Intercontinental Hotel over there. There's a Four Seasons opposite it. And then the other side of Piccadilly, it's Mayfair.
Okay.
Yours truly is going home, going to work.